Obi Toppin was the best player in college basketball this year. The 6'9" forward wowed America with his vertical explosiveness and open court finishing. He averaged a pretty remarkable 20 points per game and shot 63% from the field. Obviously, this was a weird year for college basketball. Top prospects like LaMelo Ball and RJ Hampton took their talents to the NBL. Cole Anthony dealt with injury and played on a disappointing UNC team. Anthony Edwards was unable to make Georgia interesting, and James Wiseman decided to hang up his Memphis jersey after just 3 games. That left Toppin as the sport's brightest star, and he earned the attention of scouts. Some are even pointing to him as a potential top 5 pick. In my opinion, Toppin is the Jekyll and Hyde of this year's class. On the offensive end, he's clearly gifted, and his skill set is translatable. However, his defense is a long way away from being viable. So this is a typical Dayton play. Obi Toppin's going to catch the ball at the top of the key, and it's just a simple pick and roll action. And he's going to show off that vertical athleticism with a big time slam. These spread pick and roll plays are the NBA's bread and butter. His efficiency around the rim is mind-boggling, converting at an 82.7% rate. He finishes just about everything with the slam, and ended the season with 107 dunks. Dayton loves to give him these isolation plays in the low post, where he's super efficient. Here he doesn't make the first shot, but gets his own rebound and finishes with a crazy one-handed putback. Here he shows off his soft touch against a bigger defender. His three-point shooting ability has really improved to the point where he's a legitimate threat from range. This tipped pass causes Toppin's man to leave him open on the perimeter, and Obi makes St. Louis pay for it. He converted 32 of his 82 three-point attempts this year. While his shot isn't extremely consistent yet, I love his confidence. This 3 sent Dayton into overtime against Colorado. Here he sticks a catch-and-shoot 3 from well beyond the arc. I've been impressed by his court vision and passing ability. This isn't a high-level read by any means. Nonetheless, still a nice short roll find. This one he drives baseline and executes a one-handed swing pass to the corner. Usually he's the recipient of lobs, but on this play, he's the guy throwing one. It's still definitely a work in progress though. On this one he gets doubled in the low post, totally panics, and then throws the ball away. Here he posts up and drives baseline again, but he can't beat his man, and rather than passing it to a wide open Trey Landers on the perimeter, he decides to force up this wild off-balance layup. So moving on from his offense, I'm going to start talking about his defense. So I think Toppin's defensive abilities are sort of hyped up by mainstream media due to his big-time play ability. People love the huge swats and steals that lead to fast breaks. Toppin is a defensive playmaker, averaging a steal and a block per game. But real, fundamentally sound defense and playmaking are totally different things. Here, Toppin takes the ball and finishes with the signature open court slam. This is the end of the Colorado game. In overtime, 30 seconds left, and Toppin has to defend the perimeter and gets totally shaken by this simple crossover, and his guy blows right by him. Here's a look at his pick and roll defense. Dayton loves to switch on these, and look at Toppin's body positioning here. He's facing the Colorado bench, so McKinley Wright has a really easy path to the hoop. And Toppin is unable to recover from his poor initial positioning. This is just a simple closeout, and Toppin is so slow to move over. Any NBA player is just going to blow right by him there when he's off balance like that. He takes a lot of gambles. Here he goes for an ill-advised steal attempt and gives Trey Mitchell an easy basket. Toppin's team defense is pretty far away too. Here Colorado is running some wheel action, and he calls out this first screen, but it's very late and it's sort of just a lackadaisical point. And look at him here, he gets caught ball watching, and so he doesn't see this second runner coming around, and he ends up with a wide open bucket. So there's a clear mismatch here as the 6'1", 171-pound Jalen Crutcher is defending the 6'7", 220-pound Tyler Bay in the low post. His man is out here, Shane Gatling, and he is only a 32% shooter, whereas Tyler Bay is a 66% finisher at the rim. So helping Crutcher here is a total no-brainer, and Crutcher points, calling for the help for Obi to go and cut him off, but Toppin never commits, and Tyler Bay gets an easy dunk. Here he is navigating a screen, so the screen comes, and look at the way his body is positioned. He has absolutely no chance of getting over this or getting under it effectively, and he has to cover a ton of ground on that closeout. He looks like a chicken with his head cut off at times when defending in transition. Here he doesn't contain, ends up chasing, and runs straight out of bounds. Here's another clip of him not sliding his feet and sort of just turning and chasing. This is just a full defensive possession from the St. Louis game, and neither of these two Dayton defenders are defending it particularly well. So this guy's going to have a wide open layup unless Toppin goes and makes a play. So Toppin's man is this guy, Jimmy Bell. And Jimmy Bell's going to get the heck out of the way to give his guard a clear lane to the hoop. Toppin, for some reason, decides to cheat out onto Jimmy Bell rather than fully committing to helping, which is a pretty bad decision because Jimmy Bell's never even attempted a three in his career, so he doesn't have to worry about him anymore. I have no idea why this St. Louis guard doesn't take this wide open layup, but he decides to kick it out. This guy takes a three, and I do like how Toppin finds Jimmy Bell again and tries to box him out, but Jimmy Bell just rebounds over him. And at this point, Toppin is again sort of just chasing around at the perimeter, and it leads to a foul. Obi Toppin is definitely someone that I'm lower than the consensus on. I love his offensive game, but his defense is just so far away. What he did at Dayton this year was absolutely incredible. but I just can't get behind the early or mid-lottery hype. If you are willing to use that high of a pick on Obi Toppin, then you have to buy him as an 18 to 20 plus point per game scorer. If he isn't a considerable positive on offense, you can't have him on the court. Yes, he dominated college basketball this year, but he's 22 years old. If you're a lottery pick, I'd hope you're a dominant college player at 22 years old. I do buy Toppin's offensive game enough to have him placed just outside the lottery. But as I've already mentioned, the early mid-lottery hype is just too much for me.